The moment my sister dragged her suitcase into my apartment, my mother smiled like the theft had already been approved. My father stood behind her, arms crossed. And my spare room door was already open. Like I had said yes. My name is Evelyn Hart. I'm 28, single, and I bought this apartment after 5 years of working double shifts, skipping vacations, and eating cheap noodles while my sister, Marissa, called herself too creative for a regular job. That Saturday morning I opened my door expecting a family brunch. Instead, Marissa rolled in 2 glittery suitcases and said, "Perfect. I'll take the room with the balcony." I blinked. "Excuse me." Mom stepped forward. "Don't start, Evelyn. You've got a spare room just sitting empty." Dad added, "Family helps family." Marissa smiled at me like I was staff at a hotel. "It's only temporary. Maybe a few months. Maybe longer." My pulse slowed. Not because I was scared, but as something inside me finally went cold. I looked at her suitcases, then at my parents. And I said, "No." The silence that followed felt heavier than the suitcases sitting in my hallway. Marissa's smile disappeared first. "What do you mean no?" she asked. "I mean exactly that," I replied. "You're not moving in." Mom laughed nervously like I was making a joke. "Evelyn, stop being dramatic." "I'm not." Dad's face darkened. "Your sister is going through a difficult time." That was the family's favorite phrase. A difficult time. Marissa had been having a difficult time for nearly 10 years. She quit jobs after a week because her managers were toxic. She borrowed money she never repaid. She bounced from boyfriend to boyfriend, apartment to apartment, always leaving someone else to clean up the mess. And every single time my parents rushed in to rescue her. Then they expected me to help. "Her landlord kicked her out," Mom said. "Where is she supposed to go?" I folded my arms. "Maybe somewhere she can actually afford." Marissa stared at me as if I had slapped her. "Wow," she whispered. "You really think you're better than me now?" "No," I said calmly. "I just think I'm responsible for my own life." That's when Dad stepped closer. And the look in his eyes told me this argument was about to become something much worse. Dad stopped only a few feet away from me. "You've changed," he said. The accusation hit harder than if he had shouted. Because in my family, changed meant I had stopped obeying. I looked at him and asked, "Have I changed, or have I finally started saying no?" Nobody answered. Marissa suddenly threw herself onto my couch and crossed her arms. "Well, I'm not leaving." I almost laughed. "You don't get to decide that. Watch me." Mom immediately sat beside her, wrapping an arm around her shoulders like she was comforting a wounded child instead of a 32-year-old woman. "Evelyn," Mom said softly, "your sister needs support." I stared at them. Funny. When I worked 70-hour weeks to buy this place, nobody offered me support. Dad's jaw tightened. "That's different." "How?" Neither of them had an answer. Because they knew it wasn't different. It never had been. The room grew quiet until Marissa suddenly pulled out her phone. "What are you doing?" I asked. She smirked. "Making sure the rest of the family hears how selfish you are." Within minutes, my phone exploded with texts. Aunts, uncles, cousins, people I hadn't spoken to in months. Every message said the same thing. "Help your sister." Then one text arrived from my grandmother. And unlike the others, it made my stomach drop. My grandmother's message was only 6 words long. "Call me immediately. Don't answer anyone." I stepped into my bedroom and locked the door. The second she picked up, she sounded furious. "Evelyn, tell me exactly what's happening." So I did. Every detail. The suitcases. The pressure. The threats. The family messages flooding my phone. When I finished, Grandma was silent for a moment. Then she sighed. "Oh, Marissa." "What?" "Your sister isn't telling people the truth." A cold feeling spread through my chest. "What do you mean?" Before Grandma could answer, another call came through. My aunt. Then another. Then another. Dozens of relatives had apparently received a social media post Marissa had just published. Grandma told me to look. I opened it. And my blood ran cold. There was a photo of Marissa standing outside my apartment building. Crying. Or pretending to cry. Caption read, "My wealthy sister is leaving me homeless because she says I'm not good enough to live with her." I never imagined family could be this cruel. Thousands of reactions were already pouring in. Hundreds of comments. Strangers calling me heartless. Relatives sharing the post. Then my phone buzzed again. A local news reporter had just sent me a direct message asking for my side of the story. And that was when Grandma finally revealed what Marissa was hiding. "Evelyn," Grandma said, her voice hard as steel, "Marissa wasn't evicted." I froze. What? She stopped paying rent 6 months ago. My grip tightened around the phone. Grandma continued. "Your parents have been secretly covering her bills. Rent, credit cards, car payments, everything." I sat down slowly on the edge of my bed. All those years. All those excuses. Every crisis had been manufactured and then rescued. "But why lie?" I asked. "Because the truth sounds terrible," Grandma replied. "A 32-year-old woman refusing to work doesn't earn sympathy." The pieces suddenly clicked together. The dramatic social media post. The family pressure campaign. The public humiliation. This wasn't about needing help. It was about forcing me into becoming Marissa's next sponsor. A strange calm settled over me. The anger remained. But it sharpened into something useful. Grandma noticed the change immediately. "What are you thinking?" I looked at the viral post again. Thousands of people had already accepted Marissa's version of the story. Perfect. Because the bigger the lie became, the harder the truth would hit. "I'm thinking," I said quietly, "that if Marissa wants an audience." I opened my laptop. "Then I should give her one." Grandma laughed softly. And together we started gathering evidence that could destroy her entire performance. For the next 48 hours, Grandma and I built a timeline. Not rumors. Not opinions. Facts. Bank transfers from my parents to Marissa. Screenshots of messages where she bragged about quitting jobs because she didn't feel like waking up early. Emails from former landlords offering payment plans she ignored. Even voice notes where she laughed about getting relatives to feel sorry for her. Every piece fit perfectly. Meanwhile, her post kept growing. 20,000 shares. Then 30,000. People were calling me a monster. Marissa loved every second of it. Then she made one fatal mistake. She announced a live stream. "I'm finally telling my story," she wrote. The moment I saw it, I smiled. Got you. That evening, thousands of viewers joined her broadcast. Marissa sat in front of a camera, tears ready, voice trembling on command. "My sister abandoned me," she began. The comments exploded with sympathy. Then I entered the livestream, using my real name. The chat immediately noticed. Marissa's expression tightened. "Evelyn," she said. I replied with a single message. "Would you like me to show everyone the rent payments Mom and Dad made for you?" The comments slowed. Marissa stopped speaking. And for the first time since this nightmare started, she looked genuinely afraid. The livestream went completely silent. Thousands of viewers watched as Marissa stared at the screen. Her face had lost all color. "She's lying," she finally said. I uploaded the first document. A bank statement. Then another. And another. Each one showed the same thing. Monthly payments from my parents directly to her landlord. The chat exploded. Questions flooded in faster than anyone could read them. Wait, she wasn't evicted? Why was her rent being paid? Is this real? Marissa's hands started shaking. Mom suddenly appeared in the background of the livestream. That was a mistake. Because viewers immediately recognized her from photos on Marissa's profile. "Mom, say something." Marissa cried. Instead, Mom looked terrified. I uploaded the voice notes next. The audio played clearly. Marissa's own voice laughed through the speakers. "People believe anything if you cry enough." The reaction was instant. Thousands of comments turned against her. The sympathy vanished. Then Dad grabbed the camera and shouted that everyone should mind their own business. The stream ended seconds later. But it was already too late. Clips had been recorded. Screenshots had spread everywhere. By midnight, Marissa's viral story had collapsed. Yet the next morning, someone knocked on my apartment door. And the person standing there shocked me. When I opened the door, I expected another angry relative. Instead, I found my father. Alone. For the first time in years. He looked older than I remembered. Tired. Defeated. Neither of us spoke for several seconds. Finally, he handed me an envelope. "What's this?" I asked. "Read it." Inside was a letter. Not from him. From my mother. A confession. The truth was uglier than I imagined. For years, Mom had quietly pressured everyone to protect Marissa. She believed Marissa was fragile and incapable of surviving on her own. Every bill paid, every excuse made, every lie covered up had come from that belief. But all that protection had done the opposite. It had turned Marissa into someone who expected the world to carry her. Dad lowered his eyes. "We failed both of you." The words hit harder than any apology. Because they were true. They had rescued one daughter so often that they neglected the other. A week later, Marissa finally got a job. Not because she wanted to. Because nobody was paying for her life anymore. Months passed. The apartment remained mine. The spare room stayed empty. And every time someone asked why I refused to let my sister move in, I gave the same answer. Having a spare room doesn't make me responsible for someone else's choices. The end.